So we've set up a little winners enclosure over here. We've got a nice sofa with some cushions for the winners to sit on. And we'll stick the sign up here. Rick and Sue, you're the winners. Tony, sorry, you were in the losers side. So this is going to be the losers corner over here. Sadly, the losers don't have a sofa. They have to sit on the floor. They are losers after all. Now, Holly, we've got some prizes, yeah? We've got some good prizes for the winners. And like a little consolation for the losers. Yeah? Okay, good, great. Fantastic. So, we're going to do one-on-one challenges. We're going to do them nice and quick for a bit short time. So, we need a pair of people who want to take each other on in a little challenge to see who can be the winner and who can be the loser. I think these two will be great. But yes, should we want to start with them? Up you come. Excellent. Give a round of applause.
We're going to play rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors, right? You know how to play that? Brilliant. Okay, you come and stand here for me. Brilliant. Okay, face each other. Now, should we do giant, Holly? Should we do giant rock, paper, scissors? Right. So rather than just simple, like rock like that, scissors like that, paper like that. You're going to do paper, rock, and scissors. You have to be good. Try not to kick each other in the head. There you go.
Alright. This is interesting.
Okay, so you ready? So Holly's going to give you a countdown. Now, whoever wins gets to sit on the winner's sofa and get a prize. Whoever loses has to go over there.
So rock.
No, paper, rock,
Yeah.
scissors.
Okay.
On three, ready? 1, 2, 3.
That's scissors, that's paper. Now, we were going to do best out of 3 and give you a chance for a comeback, but we haven't got time, so sorry, you're not. So you can sit down there. No, you don't get to sit. Unless you've got a health reason, unless you've got bad knees and you ain't going to get up. Right, and you can sit on the winner's sofa.
Thank you very much. Yes, very nice. Thank you very much.
Okay, right, we're going to do another separating winners from losers. So who else would like to come and be a winner or potentially a loser? Anybody? Have we got any volunteers? I think maybe this gentleman here. I think you'd like to come and join us. And would you like to pick somebody that you think that you can beat?
Who you can beat?
Jodie! Yes, excellent. Okay, so we've got a bit of a family rivalry going on here. Excellent.
Go on, Jodie.
But I think you guys look like you should be good at this. So we're going to
Oh yes.
So we're going to get you to do some jousting. And this is how it works. You hold that on your one hand. You have to hold it flat like that. You can't grip it, so hold it flat like that on your hand. You hold this one flat on your hand. I'm going to put these juggling balls on the top. And then it's simple. And you have to knock the juggling ball off the other person's tray. No headshots are allowed. Okay, you're not allowed to run away. It's kind of like fencing. So if you stand facing each other, and then you can go forwards and backwards. Ready? You are allowed to move. I didn't say go yet. That's cheating. No feet allowed. That would be a disqualification. You're only allowed to use the jousting pole. But that was a great shot. Sneaky. Right, are you ready? Ready? 3, 2, 1, fight. That was a bit much of a dead heat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to go again. You look like you're enjoying that anyway. Now you are allowed to move the trace. If you want, you can kind of tuck it round behind your back or open up over your head. You're allowed to move it, but obviously if you drop it, you'll have lost. So, ready?
Take you next.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, fight. Okay, so Holly, we need 2 more volunteers. Need 2 more volunteers. We got any more volunteers? Yes? Yeah, excellent at the back there. You as well. Okay, come on, yeah, that's somebody you. So you and this gentleman here. Brilliant.
Thank God. Sorry, Danny.
I think it's fair match.
Go on, Jamie.
Okay, no, but this time it's using your brain, right? He's not.
It's no longer a fair match.
Holly, what's our challenge?
Okay, so we're going to play the word association game.
Yes.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so
We're going to use this so we can hear your words.
I'm going to say a word. So if I say tree, you got to think of a word that goes with tree. So
Twig.
Twig is good. Yeah, that'd be good. So, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go back and forth between the two of you, and you have to associate the word, so a linked word to the one before, right? So if I say Holly says tree, you say leaf, you say twig, and then you say bark, and then you can say dog. You see at that point, because bark is dog. So you can change it completely, so long as it links. It doesn't have to link to tree; it just has to link to the previous word. Now, if you say a word which is completely yeah, I like it. Make even the teeth up a bit.
She's rolling her sleeves up as well.
Which is no good, which doesn't link to the word previously, or you repeat, or you pause for too long, then you've lost.
Well, we get double points.
And I did have a big inflatable mallet, but I've lost it because I pushed on the head like in Timmy Mallet's days. So, I think it's got a hole in it. It's got a hole in it. So. It's inflated. Right, so you ready? Ready? Who's starting? Ready? Who's going to start?
I'm going to start with a word.
Yeah.
And them first or
Yeah, remember you first.
you first? Okay.
Right, so we're going to start with the word house, okay?
House.
Ready, go. Brick.
Bricks.
Window.
Glass.
Door.
Look.
Handle.
Key.
Fob.
Off.
On.
Switch.
Light.
Bulb.
Shade.
Sun.
Moon.
Star.
Sky.
Blue.
Red.
Yellow.
Green.
Orange.
Apple.
It's never normally goes on for this long. They're amazing.
Donkey.
Donkey.
Horse.
Apple.
Oh, we've already had apple. Oh, that was outstanding. I think I should vote for you, which is really. Give them both a round of applause. There's no space for you, just
That's all right, that's fine.
Excellent. Okay, so good effort, great effort. So now we've got a little prize for you, so don't go anywhere. Come back. No, you don't want it. I'll give it to you in a minute. So, Holly, you sorted out the prizes, yes?
Yeah.
Now, really, it was just down to luck, most of those challenges, but we have got something for the winners. So Holly, do you want to give the winners their prizes? Fantastic. Brilliant, and looking nice and comfy on their side. We've got some chocolate! Round of applause for our winners. Now, we have also got something for our losers. So, Holly, you saw that prizes, yes? Excellent. So, where are they in that little bag? Great. Fantastic. Okay, so, oh, he's giving his away. Edith, what a gentleman. How gracious. Now, I have got something for the... Hold on. What are you doing? Well, you put the wrong thing in the losers bag.
Everyone deserves a prize.
Yeah, but it's not. You can't give them the same as what you gave the winners. That's not fair, is it?
Yes.
But that's not what. Holly's giving you exactly the same as the winners. Unbelievable. There you go. Excellent. I'll let you get it back. Round of applause for the losers. Great stuff. So, in life, often we get used to, if you do well at something, you get rewarded and you get some kind of prize or certificate or a medal if you're like running a race in sports there or in the Olympics. And if you lose, you often get nothing. Or you might even get a negative consequence. Like, has anybody been watching The Apprentice on the TV? Or you might have heard of it. In The Apprentice, if you're on the winning team, you get a reward. If you're on the losing team, what if you get fired? And often, when we don't do well at something, we feel like we're forgotten about or rejected. The England rugby team, they didn't win, and they got slated, didn't they, in the press by most people. They got absolutely hammered. And so often losers get kind of frowned upon, rejected, marginalised, forgotten about, and winners are celebrated. Now, there's nothing wrong with celebrating success. Celebrating success is great. The problem is, sometimes it can leave the people that don't succeed feeling a bit bad. And the real problem comes if God is real, if we have that kind of mindset when it comes to God. Because here's the problem. If we feel like we need to earn God's love, if we feel like we need to be a winner for God to reward us and for God to be pleased with us, then we're all going to be in a bit of trouble. Because the reality is, if we're honest, sometimes we're all losers. Sometimes we all mess up when it comes to God's perfect standards. So, the great news is, for Christians, if Christianity is true, God actually loves all of us equally. And yes, how we behave is important, and yes, we need to try and do the right thing and be a winner in terms of our behaviour as much as possible. But when we lose and mess up, which all of us do sometimes, not just in a little one-to-one challenge like we had, but in big ways, when we're selfish, when we're greedy, when we're mean, God actually can forgive us. And He wants to give all of us an equal prize, an equal reward, which is better than anything else on offer in the whole world. His forgiveness and His love, and a place in heaven with Him forever. And that's the amazing message of Christianity. It's something called grace. We don't necessarily deserve it, we haven't necessarily earned it, but God gives it to us freely anyway. And that's our message for you in your assembly today, that we wanted to come in and just share that as Christians we believe that everyone is invited to be part of God's family, and everyone can be forgiven. That actually, even though sometimes we're all losers, if we're honest, we all mess up, that actually with God we can all be winners because He loves each one of us individually, and He actually sent Jesus to give up His life so that we could be forgiven. If that's true, that is an incredible invitation. And so that's something for you guys to think about. Thanks very much for having us in your assembly, and I'm going to hand back to your head teacher, except I'm not. I'm going to hand over to Holly to talk about her experience of being on the island the last few weeks.
Okay, before I explain that, I just want to give tell you a little bit about me. So I'm 22, and like this, I'm from a town called Coventry. Growing up for me was difficult. I didn't have much structure in my life, so I started to rebel. And this led me into just hanging around with the wrong kind of people, just getting into all kinds of trouble with the police. And I soon found myself in a drug addiction, which lasted a few years. And I didn't really want much out of life. I didn't really aspire to actually be anything. So drugs kind of just controlled me. And then when I was 20, I went into a faith-based rehab, which is called Teen Challenge, which was down in Wales, which was for 11 months. And I left there this April, and I left there and I went back to my hometown, and it still had quite a lot of fear because I didn't want to bump into old friends or see any old people. So I was asking God, I said, God, what do you want me to do with my life? And I was applying for all different kind of gap years, and in the end I didn't really know where I was going. So I kind of just prayed to God, and I just said, God, open the doors that you want to be open, and shut the doors. And God shut all the doors apart from me for Christ, and God provided the money, everything that I needed. Because obviously we pay the funds and stuff for our gap year, and God just provided all the money. Like this, people were just giving me £50, just posting £100 from my door. So I came to the island just about 6 weeks ago now. It's a big change because in Coventry it's all inbound, so living by the sea is brilliant, and so I absolutely love it. And I actually love doing what I do. I love doing youth work, and I love seeing the change in young people already. And just 6 weeks in, it's just amazing. We have our month event, we're showing Catalyst, and one of the young people that I work with in Newport Youth Cafe, she came along and she was questioning. She didn't really know where she was at in life, and she gave her life to God. And I'm going to meet up with her on a one-to-one basis and just see where she's at in life. And I know that I can use my story to come alongside of the young people. There's a girl that I'm going to meet up with who's struggling with drugs and stuff, and just walk journey with her and just show her God and just be that example. But I love doing what I'm doing. I love bringing Jesus to people and bringing the hope and working with the team and just seeing the difference that Jesus can make in young people's lives. And I'm excited for what the year's got ahead.
Fantastic. It's incredible to have people like Holly sent to the island to come work with us, and Kelsey and Charlotte as well, who've joined us this year. We're just a team of people that love Jesus and want to take that to young people. And we actually want to take it to everyone, not just young people, but we are youth for Christ, so we tend to aim mainly for young people. I believe that reaching young people is incredibly strategic. Hands up if you first heard about Jesus when you were under 21. Excellent. Okay, so that's pretty much everyone. Hands up if you decided to follow Jesus or became a Christian under the age of 21. Yeah. So again, the majority of the room. Now, it's not everybody, because some people it takes a bit longer. But the reality is, statistically, 7 or 8 out of every 10 people that decide to follow Jesus do so before the age of 21. That's what studies in the Western world show. And it's not really surprising, because that's the time where we're wrestling with life's big questions, and that's the time where we're open to other people's ideas, and that's the time where we first hear about Jesus and we decide whether we want to follow him or not. But the reality is of those statistics is, if we don't invest a lot of time and energy and finance into reaching young people, we're missing out. We're missing out on God's heart and God's agenda to reach the world. I heard someone recently say that the church is only one generation away from extinction. which is a scary thought. But the incredible reality is, 2,000 years after Jesus, the church is still going strong around the world. And the reason is because Jesus' followers have kept on sharing it with people and kept on taking his command and his commission seriously. He said to his followers, many of you probably know this, go into the world and make disciples, teaching them teaching them the same things that I have taught you. That's what he wanted his followers to do. And so, at YFC, we take the Great Commission seriously, and I know that you guys do as well in this congregation, to take the good news of Jesus, to make disciples, and to share God's love with everyone we meet. Now, the problem with it is sometimes we can get distracted. Imagine that you're watching Mo Farah in a long distance race, and suddenly the camera pans in and he's sat on a deck chair at the side of the track, having a cup of coffee, reading the newspaper. He's not going to win the race, is he? Because he's taken his eyes off the prize. Imagine you're watching Lewis Hamilton trying to win a Grand Prix, and he pulls over at the side of the road, and he's just like biting his fingernails and just having to go on his phone on Facebook. He's distracted. He's distracted from winning his race. Well, we've got a much more important race that we're involved in. The race towards heaven and our mission on earth to reach people for Jesus, to be part of his kingdom, bringing his good news, being the salt and light of the world. And we can't dare to be distracted from that. And so there are many things, many good things even, that will distract us. The TV, just our own selfish desires, like just whatever. There's all kinds of things that we can fill our lives with that distract us from running after Jesus and from telling people about Jesus. And so my encouragement to all of us this morning is totally aimed at myself as well, is to stay focused and keep running the race and keep sharing Jesus with people. Because who knows, me and Holly struck up this conversation with these two guys on the ferry just the other day, just randomly, who knows when God might want to do something in someone's life and how he might want to use you to be the messenger, to be the missionary. If you want to partner with us, because we're just one group of many people on the island sharing Jesus with people, I would say there are three ways, both in your church congregation here and island-wide, if you want to partner with us, that you can get involved with youth evangelism, with sharing the good news with young people. And that's to pray, to volunteer and to give. Or you can do all three if you like. You can pray. You can pray for people that are doing youth work, and you can pray for young people. If you'd like to get our newsletter to pray for the island-wide team, then we'd love to sign you up and email it to you or send it to you in the post. You can volunteer. You can volunteer at one of our clubs, or you can volunteer with some of the great work that's going on here in this congregation. I'm sure many volunteers turned up to make the glow party happen the other night. And lastly, you can give. You can give to this local congregation, as you have this morning, and you can give if you'd like to YFC. The work that we do wouldn't be possible without some of you guys in this room and others around the island, churches and individuals that give to our work regularly, so that some of us can work full time, so that we've got many people that actually volunteer with us as well. And most of the team actually aren't employed full time, they're employed part time, and then they do the rest of it freely, voluntarily. So if you'd like to partner with us, then please do that. Please sign up for our newsletter if you don't already get it. You got some YFC propaganda when you came in, some of our impact reports that talk about the work that we do over the last few years. If you'd like to find out more, you can sign up for our newsletter, you can get in touch with the office, you can come and chat to us afterwards. But the main thing I wanted to leave you with today is just an encouragement and a bit of a challenge to keep pressing on, to keep following Jesus and to keep sharing Jesus with everyone that you meet. And especially to remember that young people are so vital to the kingdom, to God's heart, and to share Jesus with all the young people that you meet and that are in your life. So thanks so much for having us. It was great to be with you. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again very soon.